Welcome to
Thank you.
my channel, Trans Laboratory, and also my mind bodywork practice. And I'm so glad to have you here today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here today.
Thanks. Thanks for coming. This is Arthur. He's one of my very good friends. We've known each other quite a while now, several years. Yeah, several years. And I'm very delighted that he joined me for this bodywork practice today. We've been through a lot together.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah,
a crazy life.
it has. It has. And Arthur's wish for today is like a bliss rush. So we titled the video Bliss Rush, and that's what we're aiming for today. I like to think that we can always create an intention and follow the threads and get the clues to wind up where we want to go with massage therapy, skilled touch therapies, body work. All right. Shall we head inside?
Yeah, let's head inside.
All right. All right. Your skin system. Is there anything going on with your skin that you would like me to know about?
No, I don't think so. I mean, occasional like pimple or something,
Sure.
nothing else like really comes to my mind.
Okay. No allergies or sensitivities?
No, not skin-wise.
Perfect. Okay. How about your bones and your skeleton? Everything feel good there?
Yeah, my knees have been, I was doing a lot of squats, so they've been a little bit sore lately.
Okay. Joints are a little tender at the knees.
That's about it. And like maybe muscular-wise, like something on this arm around here. I don't know if it's like a tendon or something.
Okay.
It's just a little bit. Use some work. It just seems like it's strained, like when I use it, and like stretching it doesn't help, or like it doesn't seem to do anything.
Just on the right side, you're feeling that. Okay, good to know. Anything else going on with your muscle system that you notice?
No, that was a big one.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. How about digestive system? Is that usually comfortable for you?
Yeah, that's usually comfortable.
Good. Heartbeat for like regular rhythm, keeps up with you?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's like faster than most people's like resting.
Okay. Is that something you've been measuring, or that's like a sense you have?
Something I was measuring. I didn't like know that before.
Okay. But pick that up with like, how did you measure that? Tell me about that.
Oh my God, one of those watches. I don't have it with me today.
Oh yeah. I love the biometrics watches. Honestly, I feel like we were taught to ignore a lot of our body signals, and those biometric watches, like keeping track of stuff that, if we were in a more wild lifestyle, we probably would intuitively be tracking better, right? Yeah, but it helps us pull back into the information of the body, be more aware of that. How about your oxygen, breathing, respiratory system? What are your lungs doing? Normally keeping up with you?
They're normally keeping up with me. I've been like, I'm an off-known smoker, so sometimes they're better than others.
Okay, yeah.
Some days are better than
others. You notice a difference connected to how much you're smoking? Or does it seem more like generalized?
It seems more generalized. If there's ever like a problem where I feel like sick from it, then I usually just stop smoking and problem solved.
Yeah. Give it a little break. Yeah. The lungs are super resilient, amazingly, for all that we put them through. They actually do start healing really fast. Cool. Let's see. Anything going on with your nervous system that you notice? Probably the easiest to catch is like numbness, tingling, sensation issues.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. How about any like anxiety, depression stuff?
I'd say it's pretty normal or like situational.
Yeah. So, situational.
Nothing chronic.
That's a really important distinction to register, that like the sensation of being sad when it's appropriate is not pathological, because we can kind of get, the ambient sense in society a lot of the time right now is like, if you can't just be happy all the time, then there's something wrong with you. But there's a purpose to sadness.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm glad that you're feeling that connectedly.
It creates the opposites in life.
Yeah.
I can feel both sides more.
Absolutely. The contrast.
The deeper you go in one side, the deeper you can go in the other.
Yeah. Absolutely. Highest highs, lowest lows, eh? Yeah. Okay. Any other health concerns that have come up for you? You know?
Yeah, no, nothing like recently. I feel pretty healthy now.
Okay, good. Excellent. Other questions that I always screen everybody for is, have you ever had any diagnosis of cancer?
No.
Okay, never been treated for that. Any history with like lymphatic problems of any kind? Like swelling that was unpredictable or not normal seeming?
No, I mean, is it pretty normal when you get like swelling when you have like a cold or like sinus infections?
Yeah, when just your immune system is having a normal activation.
Totally. Other than that, nothing. Nothing I can think of.
Okay, cool. That's an important question for the amount of impact that massage therapy can have, especially if we're going for that rush sensation and we're like going to dive a little deep probably. That'll really trigger the lymphatic system to respond. And so if you're healthy, it's great. And it just like helps sweep everything through. Sometimes people have pre-existing injuries or conditions where that can be something that we want to be more careful with. Would you say that you are good at asking for help?
No.
Not really.
No, I feel like I was always felt like I need to be super independent, and if I was asking for help, then it was wrong or bad.
I hear you. Yeah. Okay. These questions just help me kind of sort through what's up with your nervous system as well. And when you do decide to ask for help, every once in a while, when you like really have to, do you have people in place that help you out? Like, can you trust your support system?
I guess it depends on what it is. Like, I was thinking more like at work when you like need help with a project or something, you're like, oh, I can do this on my own, when actually it'd be easier. More people help.
If somebody else picked up the other end.
Yeah. But I guess emotionally, there's always somebody I can call. They're not always like close, but yeah.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions for me? Or anything else you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'm just excited to have my first massage today.
Yeah.
Let you know how that goes.
I'm super excited for you to have your first massage. The first one is always like a really interesting measure of where your body is at. And I feel like people are almost always very surprised by how far they can go in the direction of, in your case, this like Bliss Rush experience. So on a scale of 1 to 10, let's rate, are you in pain at all? Anywhere in the body?
No.
You said you had some tenderness there, some tenderness in the knees, but nothing is what you would call pain. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a 0. How about just general relaxation status? How calm do you feel? Scale of like 0 being no excitement or activation, 10 being very nervous, like almost vomiting from nervousness.
I guess like 4 probably.
Okay. And on your conceived Bliss Rush scale of 1 to 10, 10 being total Bliss Rush. Where do you put yourself right now?
Like a 1, like not very blissful or like having any sort of rush. So.
Not blissed or rushed yet. So that's the goal for today. Okay. I am going to pull the camera with me. I'll step out and let you undress to your comfort level. So some people leave everything on. Some people will take everything off. It doesn't matter to me at all. I will control for your privacy with the sheet. I'll probably pop on the AC because it's getting pretty warm in here. So I'll let it
Yeah,
start cooling down before I pop back in. And I'll give you a few minutes to settle in. Let's start face down. And I'll help you adjust the cushions when I get back in and we'll get started. Sound good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Right. What we're aiming for is to just introduce Arthur to the massage therapy experience, give him a chance to see what it's all about, and check in on his personal bodywork goals. And I really love Arthur. He's a close friend of mine and I care about him a lot. And I'm really excited that he volunteered to be out here with me today and super excited to see what we can do. Since he is aiming for what he described as a bliss rush, I'm thinking that we want to really kick off his endorphins. And so we're going to go for some fairly deep work, and I'll be really tuning in to measure his response and feel how his nervous system is receiving me so that I can kind of take him to that edge. I'll explain to him when I get back in there, but what I want to basically aim for is for him to be at kind of a 7 out of 10 on the intensity of what he can tolerate. And we're going to hold that for as long as possible and really just stimulate the deep neuroreceptors in his tissue to give him a huge amount of neurological feedback and kick his endocrine system into a bit more of a alert, energized, excited state. So we do want to kick off some reasonable amount of cortisol, maybe a little bit of adrenaline when we're pushing at the edges of what he can handle in that like hurts so good kind of way. And that's the goal for today. So, and since we're focusing on this Bliss Rush goal for your massage experience today, I am thinking we're going to be doing fairly deep work. And I want to just make sure that you are totally clued into how we can help each other best and really communicate clearly through this. So number one, I don't want you to have any experience that's like actual pain. If you are getting a sense like you are having to hold yourself still and not jump off the table, like the impulse to run away is really kicking up, then definitely tell me. But in order to get those endorphins going, we do want to kind of stimulate a more intense experience, and we want to hit the mechanoreceptors that are relatively deep tissue. And so those are the nerve endings that are all the way down in your like fascia and your deep muscles, deep tissue. So that's what we mean when we say deep tissue massage, is that we're like getting at the muscles and the connective tissue that's like closest to the bones, if that makes sense. It doesn't mean that it's like really painful or intense. We can do really effective deep tissue just slowly and be quite gentle. But since you are wanting that a little bit of an adrenaline junkie endorphin experience, I want to keep us at around 7 out of 10 on the like intensity that you can tolerate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Okay. So if you're finding that I am a little low, especially if you're getting like a tickly sensation, that usually means that you need firmer pressure. And if you are getting a sense of like wanting to run away, then we're a little bit high. So you can always use verbal clues to adjust me up and down. 10% deeper, Adele, please, etc. And we also do want to get, even though we're going for intensity, we want your parasympathetic nervous system to be kicking up as strongly as possible. So we want to induce pretty strong relaxation. And anything that's distracting you in your sensory experience, we want to kind of address that quickly. So if your temperature is not right, or usually I have music playing, so I'd let people know we can change the sounds if you need anything like that. Just if it's stopping you from zoning as deeply as possible into your body and keeping you aware of the external world, then I want to know about it so that we can fix it. Sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, as of now, it seems like good temperature. Yeah, nothing too noisy.
Awesome check-in.
Sounds good.
Good. We got a little bit of a jump response. I'm not on super deep pressure right now. I would say of the pressure that I can produce, This is like a 3 or 4. But we are starting to get a little bit of muscular jumping. So that's where a protective reflex gets triggered. And that's awesome. It's a good sign because a lot of times those reflexes are sensitized by an experience that we have, and then it doesn't quite resolve, and the circuit of the actual electrical impulse in the nervous system stays a little activated. So when we find those and we let them kind of clear out, that tends to improve overall coordination.
Oh, wow.
I do a lot of elbow work. Some people use their elbows a lot. Some people use their elbows less. And for practitioners, it's definitely like a learning curve to sensitize your forearms to be able to listen into the client's body. I've been doing this a long time, and I've had the benefit of receiving some really beautiful forearms, elbows, centric, lomi work. Your structure feels good overall.
Like, what do you mean, muscular or like skeletal?
Both. The way that they're interacting with each other feels like there's not a lot of imbalance or torsion. There's a little bit of looseness in the sense of, I would say your connective tissue is running a little bit actually mechanically longer than average. Not by a lot, like still well within the range of, people function. But do you ever notice that like you find yourself a little more naturally flexible than a lot of people?
No, not really, actually.
Haven't noticed that?
No, I think it's like I need to work on it. Like doing the splits or something isn't very easy.
Oh yeah, totally. Totally. But the movement that I'm picking up at your joints, I'm pretty happy with. That they're fairly stable. They're not super inclined to like a distorted alignment. And they're giving you a little bit of reasonable amount of play. That idea of like from one bone to another, they can move relative to each other pretty comfortably. During a session like this, we have a chance to use it to our advantage and kind of practice tuning into a nervous system that is rehearsed in that calm theta brainwave state. So I'm going to let myself start kind of zoning out a bit here now that we've got a good read on your structure. Okay, what's in my oil bottle right now? I have a lot of Lang Lang and Atlas cedarwood.
That sounds good.
Got a really good development of these erector spinae muscles. And then through the rhomboids especially, I'm picking that up. Do you tend to get a little bit sore right here at times? Or like up through here?
More
this whole
there.
Area? Yeah.
More up to there. I didn't notice. I mean, it feels sore now, but it's not something I noticed before.
A little prompting. Bring it up. And that is connected to what you were describing. It was the right shoulder, right, that you were saying?
Yeah.
Gets more sensitive. So that front location in the right shoulder can really be picking up some strain from these muscles being activated all the time. I got some of those good jumps. It makes me want to slow down and dive a little deeper. Okay. And we've got this bundle of muscle fibers. What I'm picking up here is the directionality of these muscle fibers and the way that they're clustering. Definitely right through here we have a system where there's like habitual kind of postural tendencies. that are distorting the way that your scapula, this bone right here, is trying to sit. And so I want to diffuse any areas of like involuntary tension that are stopping the scapula from returning all the way to its natural position. And this is still just kind of cruising. I want to make sure that I'm not driving any existing structural situations deeper into your system as we turn the pressure up gradually here. We want to have this structure be more stabilized and appropriately rotated before I jump in for that really endorphin inducing level of pressure. There we go. Can you follow the difference of the placement of the scapula right there? Nice. Your breath is kind of automatically kicking in. Go ahead and let that deeper abdominal breathing start to activate here. Yeah. There's a lot of motility in these bundles of muscles right here where they're moving around kind of a lot. So I want to help them map on a neuromuscular level so that your brainstem, the parts of your brain that are coordinating the movement of your body, have more information to work with, and they can automatically use that to get more spatial awareness and baseline coordination. And that is a proven benefit of massage, improved coordination. I'm always focusing on the nervous system, but today we're especially focusing on the endocrine system to kick up this sense of bliss and rush. I'm so glad that you chose those terms. Nice. I'm seeing that abdominal breath increase. That voluntary, involuntary coordination is activating. We get that nervous system finding its way, sitting right there. Okay, so neck muscles are always working pretty hard, especially with modern lifestyle. A lot of time on technology really keeps our chins pointed in a way that's not quite ergonomical for the way that the neck is designed. So we get these kind of bundles of muscular effort that are placed a little bit less structurally here. So we want to just remind all the neck muscles to open up and drop deeper. You're responding beautifully. I have a little bundle here where this is quite strapping. The way that muscles work is almost as though if you picture hairs that are all coming from sort of the same place, but they're also going into the same place. And each one can individually become shorter as it gets instructions from the central nervous system. And so the groupings of muscles are operating that way, where we have the instructions coming down the nervous system, going into the muscles. And this is something that a lot of times it's easy to ignore. But as the muscles contract, as those individual fibers contract, we really want good coordination between the groupings of the fibers. So they're receiving kind of separate instructions in their own little groups, but we want them to act as a team, have smooth action, kind of behave in a cohort in a way that maintains the structural integrity of the movement that you're trying to make. And I'm excited for when you get vertical and you can feel the difference between how those shoulders felt when you laid down and when you get up. Okay. I'm going to tuck Arthur in. How are you doing with that pressure?
It feels good.
Good. Are we approaching that intensity level that you were after?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Really focusing in on this chain. I'm just a little bit posterior to the IT band right now, but I'm wanting to clip into the IT band. I'm also grabbing this vastus lateralis muscle. And the way that the hamstrings are attaching in. Hamstrings are attaching in to the ischial tuberosity. So we are going for a little higher intensity right now so that we can get that rush bliss sensation. We want to kick the endocrine system up. Kick going there. So as I'm tipping, can you feel how through the hips there's this involuntary protective mechanism going off where the tension is firing as we move through certain places and then we get those drops?
Yeah.
So that's our evidence that the neuromuscular system is engaged and it's working on active recoordination right now. I've got a little pull here. I want you to kind of tune into how I'm going to keep supporting your ankle. There's nothing abrupt going to happen with this foot here, but we've got the fascia system engaged all the way up, pulling into, I'm still picking it up like at your armpit. Can you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give it a second. I know this is maybe not what you were expecting with deep work, but this is actually a big part of coordinating that tissue action and tying together the big systems of the body where we've got mechanisms all the way from the knee running up into the shoulder and everything is literally connected. So I want to ease through that. Now we're dropping off a little bit the impact here in the ribs. Good job. Still some protection happening here. Try doing it like a deep breath right into the palm of my hand. Yeah. A couple more of those. Yes. Nice. So I can't promise that you're going to instantly do the splits now, but your hip motility actually just significantly improved. And I'm really happy about what I felt there. And this action here is smoother as I'm moving you through. That resistance is more confined into the hip joint itself instead of being engaged so much all the way up the torso. You notice the difference?
Oh, yeah.
Good. The hip is feeling very responsible now. So it's giving us more resistance than it was before, now that it doesn't have help all the way up from the shoulder. That's okay. We're just gonna kind of tease the, oh, nice. Okay. So now we got the femur just dropped in the socket a little bit more aligned there, a little bit less distorted positioning. Okay. That's gonna get some endorphins going. So this leg, I was not picking up as much restriction in the hip as we were on the other side. I will do a little bit more of that range of motion, kind of put it through rotation now that I'm finishing up the foot. But I'm just not seeing it activate all the way up into the shoulder the way that we were seeing on the other side. And that makes sense to me. It's pretty common that we have sort of a asymmetrical spiral where our structure is adapting to try to stabilize. And so if we know that the right shoulder has already been kind of coiled up a bit, and then the left hip was also giving us some reactivity, I'm wanting to pay attention into the right ankle and knee more so also. And I'm expecting there to be a bit of restriction somewhere in there. Because that's often how it goes when we're passing the weight of the body around in that sort of spiral shape, trying to accommodate one area being tight, then it's going to often cross to the other side of the body that there's a space that is holding on to create enough stability to keep basically moving through space for that. And I do want to get in a little deeper here. Yeah. So as the hamstrings are crossing the knee right here, we're picking up that. That's where I was expecting to find a little bit of constriction on the knee. So I'm just kind of mechanically jumping that up. You might even be able to see that in the video right here. We've got this line. So this kind of medial edge of the hamstring side. We can feel it crossing the knee where we're going to get that action. And I'm giving a fair amount of pressure because I want those deep mechanoreceptors to respond to this and map your body for me. But I'm not pulling them especially out of alignment. I don't need to distort them. I don't really need to do anything super drastic. I want them to know where they are and do their job. So I'm just going to keep flossing this line. This is called linear friction. When I'm putting pressure and shearing force through the muscle, but in alignment with the fibers. And this is going to stretch those fibers to their natural length. We just got a little bit of a kick. Beautiful neuromuscular engagement there. Yeah. And this is actually quite specific. But whereas we had a much more general tendency for the fascia and muscle system to be just a bit tightened up on the left side from the hip up into the shoulder, we have a pretty tight, limited little set of muscle fibers on the right side, just above the knee, that's really engaging there. And that might be connected to what you were describing about the knees being a little tender with more activity lately. So we're not surprised by this, but it is interesting. And we want the body to really notice it and bring back that aware calibration into this segment of tissue. I'm letting it just fall open to the natural resting point, and then we're feeling right here, there's this limit where it's automatically giving us some extra tension. And as your nervous system registers that limitation, then we're getting these tiny kind of millimeter drops where the foot's able to rotate even further out. So I'm going to give that just a moment of support there. And just like earlier, if you can keep breathing that abdominal breath and allow your awareness to really track down into my hand that's right on the medial edge of the knee. And it's lifting. Ooh, we're getting some engagement all the way up the spine as you tune in for that. Okay, on the next breath, I want you to feel how this is actually even connecting into your neck. Yes. Really activating some neurological activity right here. Good. Just rock that back into position a little bit. Some jostling to help desensitize that. And we got it opened up. Okay. Woo. I like it. How are you feeling so far?
Pretty relaxed.
Pretty relaxed. Good. So this is the right shoulder where Arthur was saying he's got some ongoing sensitization here, and he's often aware of there being a bit of a constriction. I'm feeling through. This is right where you were talking about it earlier, kind of up that more medial edge. Yeah. So I can feel that actually the structure is really showing up. And get some movement and mobility here. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling what you're describing, where we have the way the humerus is interacting with the shoulder girdle is a bit destabilized. I'm going to tuck in and grab these pectoralis muscles. I want to convince them to soften up a little bit, and that will allow the rhomboids on the back, which we were working on at the very beginning, to have a more natural grab on the scapula as well. This is all connected. And I don't want to increase the sensitization on this area that's already kicking back a little bit, but I do want to help it map. And bring up that spatial awareness. And I want to give some good deep stimulation, just like we were doing it everywhere else, so that we've got your fascia really ironed out and your deep tissue mechanoreceptors activated simultaneously, because that's really going to increase our endocrine activity and help us get those endorphins kicked up for a bit of a rush when you get up. Okay. I like the forearm action here. You don't ever get kind of tenderness through the elbows?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Not really. Okay, good. All right. Kicked up the blood flow here. We've got circulation in the hand rising rapidly. I'm going to help it make a little space and then kind of guide it. Yeah. And that is more stable on this side, huh? Chill.
I can't really tell.
That was part of the process, right? Is like having the, whether or not people are talking while they're working on you, just your low level brain, your coordination into the somatic awareness is going to automatically improve as you receive massage therapy or really any kind of somatic sequenced experience that helps the mind just kind of map where we are in space. Ooh, I like that movement on through your whole thorax here. So we are getting that engagement back up here. So I'm going to actually get a little bit of a bite right into that spot. Take a deep breath. So we got that a little opened up, and then that stimulation and attention migrated away and it seized back up a little bit. So we want to remind it of the progress that we decided to make on this arm. A lot of time, the nervous system needs around 20 seconds to respond to any new stimulus or intervention to even just get a baseline response mounted. So I'm going to let that play out, and I can feel it start to shift. Your nervous system knows I'm here. And yeah, there we go. That little moment is one of the kind of witchier parts of my day to day, but I find that like when I really track in my own nervous system, the expectation that something is going to change in your body, that it's as though the client's body like picks up the clue and gets a little bit better track of what to do. So I like that. Okay. gently pull out here. And I'm expecting that blissy state to already be activated. Now we're in pretty deep parasympathetic activation. I want to do some nerve strokes to turn your system back up before you get off the table to really close with a bit more of a rush. So, how are you doing?
I feel like dreamy,
Dreamy.
good, relaxed.
Dreamy, relaxed.
Rested, like I just woke up from a really good dream or something.
Yes, that's my favorite. Can you share some of your experience? How was that for you?
So at the beginning I didn't know much about massage therapy or like what to expect.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize there was so many places in my body that actually needed attention.
Isn't it amazing?
It's easy to just go about your day ignoring what your body might be trying to tell you. And like as soon as you started working on one area, I'm like, oh wow, I feel a lot more than I thought I would.
Yes, so much information deeply embedded in there.
Yeah.
All right, so we started out at like kind of a 1 on the Bliss Rush scale. Let's break it into 2 scales. How does that sound?
Okay.
How's your bliss right now?
Probably like 9.
Yes, I love winning that. And how about your rush scale?
I mean, not too much of a rush,
Not
but it's
too
like
rushed right now.
if you add them together, like getting a rush of bliss.
A rush of bliss. Cool.
then it's pretty good.
All right. I am going to be honest. I feel like most of the time when people are coming off the table, that like settled bliss experience is the more active part. But I would expect after your body has been kind of experiencing this level of like circulation activation, that the rush might come later. It's like 3-4 hours from now might be like a great time to like cut a stack of logs up for the winter or something. I don't know. Text me and let me know how that goes.
Yeah,
if you notice any extra sensations. Yeah, I'm so glad you came out. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a good experience. And if you haven't got a massage before, you're new to this like me, I would 100% recommend it.
Thank you, Arthur. I love you.
I love you.